Hi. So I am so excited today because I have my good client and friend, Diane Topping. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Don. How you doing, Barb?
I'm good. So we are going to talk today about an experience and a trip that Diane just very recently returned from and kind of pick her brain and get all of the really good details about her recent trip. So let's jump in and talk about, first of all, Diane, tell us, what were you looking for in kind of a wellness trip, and how did you find me? And just let's just jump in and start right there.
Okay. Well, I knew I was retiring, and I was retiring early to try to jump out and help the son with his first child. And I have been a workaholic my entire life, and always the team leader and the one that's trained everybody. And I did event planning for a number of years. So I've always had a lot on my shoulders, a lot on my plate. I've always been the caregiver for everyone in my family. And so I felt it was time in my retirement to do a little self-care. I've also been very interested in longevity. And so I know some of the things that I was looking for that would be a little different than a normal spa, Ayurvedic, or energy medicine, energy massage type of modalities. I was looking for to incorporate to try to make sure my energy was balanced as I went into my second half or my new life, my new career. So it was very important to me to do something. I've never taken big trips. I've never done a self splurge. So I wanted something that was going to it was almost like an eat, pray, love tour,
Yeah,
spiritual, physical, mental. So that was my goal.
that's wonderful. And you found me just on Instagram, right?
I did. I had spent almost 9 months doing my own research, doing all kinds of blogs and down the bunny trails with different reviews and going on different sites, everything from places in California, of course, the well-known places in Sedona, places up north, down in Texas, several in Florida that I almost pulled the trigger on. And what I found is the wellness spa industry, or the wellness retreat industry really tanked after COVID. And many reviews in the last 2 years, since 22, started to come in very negative.
Mm-hmm.
There were mom and pop or locally owned or family owned places like the Lodge at Woodloch, but many had turned those to corporations. So longtime employees walked, the service tanked. Many people who had been frequent or repeated customers were very displeased in their return stay at some of these other places that I had isolated. So I got so frustrated because the reviews kept coming in negatively that I thought, okay, I'm going to make a mistake here and spend some money, and it's not going to be what I want. So I started just Googling, and I found, I think, a YouTube review you had done on why do a wellness trip. So I looked you right up on Instagram. I instant messaged you. I believe it was February or March. You came right back to me. You and I connected with email and phone number, and then the rest is history.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was so excited to hear from you. And it really is so refreshing for me to get someone who has done some extensive research like you have. Like, I love that because then we can really talk kind of intelligently about, and I don't have to do all of the educating as we go along because you've already done so much research. So just before we jump into your specific, um, I guess, experience that you've had, Diane, I wanted to just ask one more question. Why do you think somebody would want to go on a wellness retreat? Why would that be of interest to someone, do you think?
I definitely pondered that while I was there. I really took some notes because I thought if you hadn't reached out to me, I would do some type of blog or something to
Yeah.
say why this might be something important for someone to look at. I know there's many people still suffering with their time, their mind, their body, their spirit with the lingering effects of COVID. A lot of people, I have 4 or 5 very good colleagues, couple good friends with the long haul COVID. So there
Mhm.
are people that are still affected and not happy emotionally or physically. So that's a big reason. I think many of us now in my age group, I'm 63 and a half, are really focused on our longevity. And there are people that are very health conscious. And what can we do to have health span versus lifespan? Try to live a longer time without disease. And definitely finding some things that can enhance that longevity is really important for mental resilience and really overall sense of well-being. So this would be another reason to find something that has other options besides a typical spa at your local nice resort. There are many people, baby boomers, who are workaholics. Most people in my generation are workaholics. Particularly during COVID, we didn't have boundaries. We worked too many hours, and I've done that for decades. We also have children either in college or beyond that, and we have aging parents. I have a mom in a dementia facility, so we are definitely in that sandwich generation. So there's a lot of constant stress besides cortisol from work. You have the either end of the spectrum. And so I think, it's just another level. It's a different level of self-care, is what I said. In the video gaming terms, because I've grown boys, it's leveling up. Many professionals have gone on what I would say is wellness retreats 1.0, where they might have gone with college buddies like I did to a wine weekend or a vineyard, or they've gone to a scrapbooking weekend, or they've just, done a wine and chocolate overnight. Those were kind of, I think, wellness retreats 1.0 back in our day, and scrapbooking, beach weekends, or just a foodie weekend. So this was something a little bit different, where you really level up and you're doing different levels of self-care, from art to lectures to learning to exercise to yoga meditation. And then some of these other things, like I was talking about the Ayurvedic, which is more of the balancing your energy, and some of those different modalities that you wouldn't find at a typical spa.
Yeah.
So I think that was my summation, that there's just a certain point in people's lives, particularly women who shoulder so much, that it's okay to do something for yourself. Maybe it's a one and done. Maybe you can have repeat visits, but just to do something for longevity, well-being, mental and physical.
Oh, I love that. I love all of that response, Diane. And I think I really love that you got to have this experience, because I think it really helped kind of define all of that and be able to get you hopefully to a place that you wanted to be. So why did you then decide on the lodge at Woodloch after looking at all of these different options that were there? What kind of zeroed you in on that?
Well, originally, and because I live near Virginia Beach, and I live near the Outer Banks, I've been a sand, surf, and sun girl, thinking that was my namaste, that was my renewal, it was a restorative place. But those places that I looked at in Florida particularly were the ones that tanked with reviews after COVID. The places in Arizona that are really well known have, as a recreational activities, a lot of rock climbing, and that's not something that I do. So I knew I wanted to have a water element. And then you threw in, hey, there's one that has consistent reviews on a lake, so you got your water element, but in the woods up in Hawley, Pennsylvania, in the Poconos Mountains, which I never would have thought I would have liked as much as I did. And so it was looking at those reviews and then going on the bunny trail with different people that had stayed there. I poured over their site and I did different searches, and 5.0 5-star reviews consistently for years. And employees have been there, and I validated this because I was there 5, 7, 9, 17, 19 years. They stay because it's family run business.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just
No
ticked
turnover.
ticked all of the boxes, that it provided an elevated type of experience for you, plus had just the longevity and the people, both the people and the experience for the clients.
And an extreme wide breadth of activities, again, that I did not find at other places. Really, that range from things like probably 70 activities a day, that range from things like primitive fire making and hatchet throwing to ukulele lessons, all the way to every type of exercise class. They have a whole art center, cooking classes, to then every type of yoga meditation, and then the spa. That was phenomenal. So you would find pieces of those at different places, but nothing that was as comprehensive.
So yeah, so comprehensive. That's one thing I love about the lodge at Woodloch. They're just amazing. So tell me about just a couple of your favorite ones, your favorite experiences that you had there, maybe, or ones that really stood out.
Right. So Definitely the spa services that were not your normal massage, reflexology. I did the shamanic energy balancing and I did a chakra balancing. And there was very interesting feedback that I've taken with me. And one of the
Oh,
results
were
was
they
that,
different than what you had expected?
yes, one was by a Reiki master. And at the end, she said, this is going to be an energy healing. It's going to be several weeks, but pay attention to nature. And I kid you not, I go back to my room to get ready to go to lunch. There's 3 hawks flying. There's deer right at my patio. I had a first floor room, which I would recommend to anyone, and a little chipmunk that came up right outside my little patio and turned right around. He came every day, even up on my patio. The day I left, I opened up my nice curtains and there were 9 deer, including a buck, really about 2 feet off of my patio. So there was a lot of nature that came as a result of this. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
I had a paddleboard lesson 101 because there were so many activities. Sometimes you would have 10 people in an activity, 20 or 1. So I had a 101 labyrinth walk, a 101 paddleboarding lesson. I did do the ukulele lessons. That was a ball. I did some drum beating yoga, which was very cool. I did some high intensive workouts, a lot of yoga and meditation.
Yeah. Oh, that's so amazing. That's so great. Do you have any pictures that you want to show us?
I do, but let's see. See that? So
Yeah.
when you walk up, when you drive up, this is your sign, and it really is like Cheers, where everyone knows your name. The greeter guy is phenomenal. He has this amazing reputation. He never misses. He's the most friendly person, the best person they could put there. And immediately the driver said my name and he immediately repeated it. So you thought he knew who you were. Everyone at the front desk knew your name. So that was very cool. This is, as you walk in, you can look through to one of the seating areas where you can sit and have restorative time, or you can sit outside and read. This is overlooking some of the paths. And again, I did not think I would like the woods, but I'm telling you, the forest bathing concept, the grounding concept is true and real. It's so quiet. There's so much nature. The beach can be windy and loud. This, I'm telling you, I am a firm believer that being in this type of a setting is probably better even than the sand and sun and surf.
Oh, that's so
This
amazing.
was a fire pit where they would have music at night, bar, and we were out there and there was someone singing. That was a ton of fun. The rooms are generous. I wanted to show you a view of my room as I walked in. I love the first floor because I wanted to see the lake. I heard there was nature. So you look right across that neat little patio, and I'm telling you, those deer are right outside of that railing. And beyond the trees, you can see a little bit of the lake up here to the right.
And
So well-appointed room.
could you see some of the wildlife that you were talking about from your room?
Well, that's what I'm saying. My little chipmunk was right here. And then
Oh.
day 2, after that shamanic energy healing, he came right up on my patio. And at checkout, they said that never happens. The mama deer was like 1 foot with her babies. One of the bucks was right here. And then there were like 7 other deer here.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
literally, because
incredible.
probably they're so tame, they are desensitized. But it was phenomenal. There's an example of a deer just walking down one of the paths.
Oh.
There was the path you have paddleboarding, kayaking. They do kayaking under the. This is the backside of Woodloch, where you have some of the different classes and some of your other activities. And then all the rooms. This is when you walk in, you have a really cool set of chakra bowls, and you can actually play the bowls for sound healing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Very cool.
Mhm.
They have specials. Okay, besides everything else, the wide breadth of the 70 things and from A to Z, they have lectures. This was my energy healing lady, but they had a lecture in the evening, 2 different topics. I went and listened to one of those. It was about resetting your career path or your next chapter.
Perfect. Perfect for
Sorry
what
about
you were
that.
looking for.
So there's the drum class, which was very cool. They had wellness water everywhere that you could get different type of energy that was infused in the water. The labyrinth.
Look at that. Isn't that amazing? The deer just out on the lawn.
The spa had an indoor pool with a waterfall, and beyond that is an outdoor infinity pool. They had sauna, steam. They had a salt room, snow room, and the cold water therapy under a bucket. There's the snow room. Wanted to show you a quick picture of that. You can see.
Oh, I love it. I love all of and they're such a property that has so much depth and breadth of the offerings, just so many offerings.
This picture right here is it's just so gorgeous. It's so well manicured. Paths galore, bike paths, walking paths.
Beautiful.
So, there's some of the highlights.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing those amazing pictures. So let's talk for just a minute about how it was to be a solo traveler. What was your experience there? Because, being a solo traveler, I think, isn't kind of your normal way to travel as far as you have traveled in the past, right?
Right. I've never done that. And I did feel a little bit in the first hour as if I was the kid at camp that got dropped off and didn't know anybody. I did go to have a meal by myself for lunch. And the dining area is really nice. I mean, these are Michelin star quality presentations and food. But for me, it was a little different. And there's a lot of husbands and wives, mothers and daughters, college friends, birthday celebrations. And so I didn't see anyone else by themselves. But that first day I did attend a cooking class, and there's a lady who said, I'm a solo traveler. So what do you think I did as soon as the class was over? I went right up and introduced myself.
Yeah.
And we hooked arms the rest of the day and the evening and until she left the next morning. Woodloch does say they have many solo travelers and they sometimes do captain's tables. They did not the weekend I was there.
Okay.
So there are some ways to circumvent that I found to be very comfortable. If you don't want to eat by yourself, you can order your breakfast and lunch and take it back to your great patio and just reflect on your experiences, which is what I did. That's when I kind of journaled. And then for dinner, the host set up a place at the end of the bar. So it's not right in the center of the restaurant where you're illuminated that you're by yourself, but it's where other people come. And I met people every night and I got to talk to the staff. So it was very comfortable. And so that's a way to circumvent if they don't do a captain's table with other solo travelers.
Oh, that's wonderful. Those are great suggestions. I love those. And I love that you really just made the best of your situation. Like you just really, even though there weren't very many other solo travelers around or anything like that, that you just dove in and made the best of it. So.
Well, because again, I think you go back to whoever might be considering this, what your goals are. My goal for my time in my life was this wellness journey, and I really wanted to do it by myself. I mean, I had a friend that was going to come, my sister who wanted to come, but I really wanted to do this alone. So I wasn't there to make deep friendships. And I talked to enough people. I met some of the staff. So it was fine on the interactions. But if you are going there also, you really want to find a buddy. It didn't lend itself to that. And just when I was there.
Right. But that also wasn't your
focus.
That
wasn't my purpose. Nope.
And so
I was able to do everything I want to do and met people along the way and enough people to talk to me and ask questions. And again, the staff too. Yeah. So it was very comfortable after that first hour.
Right. And I kind of love being a solo traveler. I really kind of love that I can do whatever I feel that I need to do. So if I want to stay in my room, I do. If I want to get out and meet people, I do. Whatever classes I want to do, I don't have to coordinate with anybody. Whatever experiences I want to have, it's a journey about me. So it sounds like you kind of found that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is wonderful. Okay, so let's ask the $1 million questions. Question. So at the beginning, we talked about kind of your purpose in going. And so now let's circle back to that. And did you feel like your purpose was accomplished?
Absolutely. Okay. It's also a no cell phone zone, really. They don't really allow you to have cell phones out talking. Yes, in the entranceway I showed you, of course, in your room, but that's also good. You unplug. And yes, I fulfilled my reset, some tools and modalities to help me, I think, get away from the cortisol, away from my old work that I'm no longer a part of, and just hope to just have different positive energy moving forward.
That's wonderful. I love it. And would you go back again? Do you feel like
In a
now you've
heartbeat.
gone once?
Oh, I told my sister, I mean, we're going to go next year, I believe.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You're already thinking, yep, it's worth going again because of all the experiences that you can have there.
I met, I'd say 10 people. One lady who you get a t-shirt if you go 5 years, I think. She was getting her t-shirt. A number of people, girlfriends from college had been going for 7 years. Husband and wife had been there a number of years. So a lot of repeat customers. Now, a lot of people live closer, New Jersey, New York,
Right.
Pennsylvania. I was a little bit further.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic. I love it. Thank you so much, Diane, for sharing your experience with us. Is there anything else that you would kind of say as a just advice to anyone else who wants to go there or anything?
I definitely think using someone like you who has experience in planning these trips in this silo, which is unique, right? It's a niche silo of spas. It's not just, it definitely is helpful. I am a good researcher. That was one of my fortes in my different employment opportunities. But I tell you, it was very frustrating not knowing really where to pull the trigger. And you've had clients stay at these other places and had good insight that you just can't glean from doing all the research. So using someone like yourself is definitely beneficial. I did call several times along the journey as you were making reservation and as those were made, just to confirm things, ask a few questions. So just don't be afraid to ask questions and read reviews. And I think you need to set your goals on the front end. What are you looking for? There are people that would probably like the Sedona experiences, and some of those out there, Maryville and some of those, if they're really hikers and they want that type of scenery.
Yes.
But if you have someone that's ambivalent, I would say Woodloch is awesome because it's gorgeous, it's peaceful, and I can't imagine another place that has this wide breadth of activities.
Yeah. Yeah. And you get really, it's like all the pieces of the puzzle just kind of fit in there. You've got the water element and the nature and the, like you said, the wide breadth of activities. Like it's just fantastic for all of those things. So, yes. So thank you again. Thank you so much. It's been such a great conversation. So
sure. I hope that wasn't too much detail.
Oh, perfect. It was fantastic. I loved it. So thanks, Diane.
Okay. Well, thank you. We'll be in touch. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. If you've enjoyed this podcast, I would invite you to like, share, or leave a review. Let's help grow our wellness travel community.